fresh off a dazzling defensive gem to preserve the one-run lead. Michigan will look to add some insurance against Logan Barrier and this Maryland staff. Mac Timbrook leading things off against Barrier. Barrier been one of the best relievers in the Big Ten. He'll face Timbrook, Rogers, and Garcia. Up the middle, and Mac Timbrook has himself a 3-hit game. Not bad for a young man who came in hitting barely above 200 on the year.
Yep, that's a solid piece of hitting right there. Nothing too fancy, but just sending it right back where it came from, right up the middle, and it's a clean single. That's all you can ask for.
Now, we've talked about the impact that Will Rogers has had in this game. Well, look who's at the plate after just coming up with a big-time retiring of Sam Honar and Kevin Keister, stranding 2 runners in the top of this inning.
Yep, we talked at our break, and we talked about how effortless he looks out there. I mean, the things he's done today has really been the difference in the game, and he makes it look easy.
Knocked off the plate, foul. And he's a fun player to watch, and he is kind of a microcosm of what this Michigan roster has had to go through this year with all the injuries, in particular offensively. One of the guys that Michigan figured they would lean on this year, Jonathan Kim, hasn't played in 17 days. Greg Pace Jr. hasn't played in 23. Skimmed up the middle. Will Rogers delivers again. First and second, nobody out for the Wolverines.
And right now, I don't know if there's a player in this, I don't know if there's a person in this building who you'd rather have doing things for you than Will Rogers. I mean, Greg Pace Jr. and Jonathan Kim are amazing players, but this kid's just, he's on something today. He's got something in the water.
And that was A.J. Garcia's double back in inning number 1. Michigan would love to dial up something similar here, though they're going to play small ball, and Garcia shows bunt, pulls it back, ball 1.
Garcia's another guy who has made an impact for himself in his limited opportunities, probably thanks to those injuries and his limited plate appearances. He's still batting .444.
This one popped up, and a diving catch from Chris Hakopian, the third baseman. What an effort for out number 1.
Fantastic effort there by
number 55,
Maryland, and just really a rough execution of what should be not an easy play, but sort of you're sacrificing. This is something you practice since the age of 10. You got to get the bunt down, and that's the second time today that Michigan's burned themselves on the sacrifice attempt.
Now Mitch Voigt, still runners at first and second. You mentioned the change in approach Michigan made. Down 5-0 to here now up by 1, and they have been more aggressive early in counts against Littman, Sarcone, and now Barrier.
Yeah, it's just a small thing that I noticed, and I agree with the premise of the sacrifice. In both the times that they did it, made sense. But if you can't get it down, you don't look like a team to be taken seriously, frankly.
This one skips away from Russell, the catcher, and that acts as a sacrifice bunt. Second and third for Michigan.
Yeah, just as good. I mean, whether it's your good play or the opponent's bad play, we're all even here. So
the
Michigan
difference
second and third
is that it's a 1 and 2 count.
Yes.
Infield comes in for Maryland. Michigan eyeing some padding before Will Rogers tries to shut the door in the 9th. Voigt skims one right to the second baseman, Honar. He looked home, but it was softly struck enough, and that allowed Timbrook to score. It's 8-6 Wolverines.
Yeah, Timbrook got a nice jump on this. play here that he made up his mind, I think, before the pitch was thrown, that if he saw the ball on the ground, he was going. Because
Catcher number 15,
I mean,
Steven
yeah, that's
Rustic.
a really nice piece of base running there, and not too much you can do from the second base position when the ball's hit a little softer like that.
Not only did Timbrook score, but Rogers got to third. And your point, on contact, Timbrook was sprinting home.
Yeah.
Stephen Hrustich swings after the first and pops it away. The Wolverines striking for a run against Logan Barrier, which that's not very common against this young man.
No, it is not. You remarked earlier that he's part of the reason why Maryland's been so clutch in their close late innings, and Michigan got the better of them right there.
It's the fifth run allowed in his now 22 innings of work.
Sometimes it's just, you don't need, the home run earlier from Will Smith was a factor, but sometimes you just need those little things to go your way. You just need a ball to pop out of a glove and a single to, or
Hrustich rockets one right to the left fielder, Martin. And that ends the inning.
Michigan does just enough, again, just enough to get an extra run and put themselves in a good place.
And they'll try to take game one of a series against a team that's won 23 straight series in Big Ten play. Ninth inning coming up here after a close call on a bullet from Stephen Hrustich. Ninth inning next on Big Ten Plus.